Tzu Chi volunteers bring new uniforms, books, and stationery for students in need in the quake-stricken Nepal. In Jiangsu, China, Tzu Chi volunteers visit their Springbud Scholarship recipients at home to further understand their needs. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Many of Nepal's students lost their uniforms, textbooks, and stationery along with their homes during the April earthquake. To help, the Tzu Chi Foundation is bringing new supplies to students in need in some 20 schools in the disaster area. We now join Tzu Chi volunteers as they bring new gifts to students in the Ganesh Secondary School and Adarsha Higher Secondary School in Bhaktapur.
This is the Ganesh Secondary School in Bhaktapur, Nepal, which takes in students from kindergarten all the way to the 9th grade. Though not big in size, some 600 students are enrolled here. Green banners hung on the school's buildings let everyone know that they remain safe after the recent tremor. However, the students' personal items were not so lucky.
My home collapsed during the earthquake. I couldn't get my uniform out in time, so I am now without my uniform.
Pramila can now only attend school in whatever clothes she can find. The school has also taken in 52 students who lost their homes in the disaster, which brings the total number of students without a uniform to 190. But today is their lucky day.
This uniform and the shoes I give you, okay?
Tzu Chi's disaster relief and medical team has brought each of these students 2 sets of custom-tailored uniforms and matching shoes and socks. On top of that, they also now have new textbooks.
I lost all my textbooks during the earthquake.
According to her, many students' books are collapsed due to earthquake. Some students have also problem to buy the books due to financial condition.
Muskan managed to recover 2 books from under the rubble. Right now, books, stationery, and uniforms are what Nepal students need.
有书可以读，有衣服可以穿，感到他们那个身跟心都非常安住。
At first, the students watched the gift-bearing guests from a distance. But when the volunteers were about to leave, the students had already warmed up to them.
They were shy and timid, but after seeing our enthusiasm, they quickly opened up.
Volunteers sincerely hope the laughter and joy they brought to the school can slowly help these children put the horror of the earthquake behind them. The volunteers also visited the school, which was formerly used by the country's now dethroned monarch as a palace. As the historical structure was built well, it did not topple during the earthquake. However, one of the school's 60-year-old buildings sustained serious damage.
This is also cracked. This also cracked. This wall also cracked. This walls also cracked. That's why we cannot put here students and not going on teaching.
This
building is now listed as dangerous. Students now have to attend class somewhere else. Nepal's armed forces are currently building a temporary classroom out of bamboo, which can accommodate up to 80 students.
70% of Nepal's schools are private schools. Though their tuition is more expensive, most parents prefer to enroll their children in them. Though Adarsha Higher Secondary School is a public school, students here achieve high marks, and this is the only school in Bhaktapur that serves visually impaired students. The 8 visually impaired students here travel long distances to study here. Though this student is already 21 years old, he is only in the 7th grade. This is his 6th year at the school, which means he hasn't been home for 6 years.
Sometimes he is worried about their family members.
A trip home costs about $20, and thus, to save money, all of the 8 students stay at the school's dormitory. Other students at the school were also affected by the recent earthquake. From the hands of the Tzu Chi volunteers, the students also received custom-made uniforms and new textbooks, which were all made possible thanks to donations from around the world.
June is Nepal's monsoon season, and afternoon thunderstorms are quite common. Recently, as volunteers were preparing for a distribution event, a sudden storm fell upon them. We now take a look at the will of the Tzu Chi disaster relief and medical team members as they braved the pouring rain to distribute supply vouchers to quake survivors. In Nepal, afternoon thunderstorms are quite common for June, though the residents here don't bat an eye. Tzu Chi volunteers, however, scrambled to find shelter. Today, volunteers are going tent to tent to distribute the supply vouchers to recipients, as they don't want quake victims to wait in the rain. We are giving out the distribution vouchers. Pinky is helping us to verify them. We're working in teams.
Namaste, Aji. Namaste. Namaste.
The local Boro chief thoughtfully brought a bigger umbrella to shield the volunteers, but it does not do much against the pouring rain. Nepal's rainwater is the purest. Originally a dirt road, after the rain, the muddy path is even more difficult to traverse. Despite the rain-soaked name list in hand, volunteers make sure that the voucher that is handed over is dry and clean. The words of thanks from the quake victims are like a rainbow after the rain. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi doctors are also conducting house calls in the rain. Volunteer Rojan's father suffers from cancer, and Rojan had hoped his father could get treatment at the local hospital.
He's too weak to have the operation, so I think what we can do is that we can give him some medicine to relieve his pain. Yeah, because he is not suitable to have surgery. Yeah, he's too weak.
Listening to the doctor's suggestion, the family hurries to block the rainwater from entering the tent and make sure the senior is at ease. At this time, it seems this course of action is the best Rojan can do for his father. On June 22nd, the Tzu Chi Foundation organized a Timati gathering in Kathmandu, Nepal. At the invitation of the Nepalese doctor Savesh, 13 doctors set aside time to partake in the event. Despite the doctor's busy schedule, Savesh says he wasn't going to let such an opportunity go, as this is a chance for his counterparts to meet and learn more about the charity organization that has been doing so much for his country and countrymen.
It is 1 hour before the Timati gathering in Kathmandu, Nepal.
Another one will be here in 10 minutes.
Making calls on his phone non-stop, Nepalese doctor Savesh is personally extending invitations to the tea gathering to his counterparts.
If they know more about the organization, they will be more willing to join. But if we don't even give them a chance to learn about the work Tzu Chi has been doing, then they won't even think about joining, right? So I invited them all to come here.
As doctors who work in public hospitals still practice at private hospitals after their shift, it's not easy for them to find the spare time to attend. However, Savesh says he's not going to let his counterparts miss out on this opportunity.
Like service is helping, so it's good because there are people who need help right now.
Under the invitation of the superintendent, 5 doctors from Bhaktapur Cancer Hospital also made an appearance at the event.
So there are many things I think we learn from you. Your sincereness, your smilingness, your eagerness to help.
Tzu Chi volunteers also shared cases of successful medical treatment at the Tzu Chi hospitals in Taiwan.
We hope these doctors may be inspired to one day establish their own team to conduct home visits and medical outreach.
On completion of their mission, Tzu Chi volunteers hope to have planted enough seeds of goodness to continue the cycle of love in Nepal.
Tzu Chi Foundation continues to be actively engaged in relief efforts in Nepal. In our next report, we meet some of the volunteers who have been playing a central role in Tzu Chi's post-disaster relief operations.
Container trucks transporting Tzu Chi's multi-purpose folding beds have arrived in Nepal. To offload the more than 1,000 folding beds, volunteers have to ensure they have the manpower to carry out the job.
This multi-purpose folding bed I am carrying weighs 15 kilograms and is extremely difficult to lift. Can you imagine how strenuous it is to unload more than 1,000 of these folding beds?
Not only is it hot and stuffy inside the container, there is dust everywhere. Thankfully, under the leadership of Tzu Chi volunteer Liang Guisheng, cash-forward participants worked swiftly and efficiently. Since arriving in Nepal on May 6th, Liang has postponed his trip home 5 times to stay behind and facilitate the logistics and transportation of Tzu Chi's relief supplies. The biggest challenge was coordinating with the local customs office.
Each time it was a different officer in charge, and he will tell us that we cannot fill out our forms like this, and we will have to get another form and fill it out again. There were many forms that we had to fill out again. There was a team that had to run to the customs office 3 times before they released the relief items to us.
To ensure Tzu Chi's relief materials are successfully cleared through customs, proper documentation and paperwork is needed. Not only is it a complicated process, it is time-consuming as well. And most of Tzu Chi's aid comes from mainland China, Malaysia, Indonesia and Taiwan. The relief materials which have poured in from all corners of the world are all handled by Liang Guisheng.
If we need to get customs clearance of our goods, we turn to Guisheng for help. If we need to move items in and out of the warehouse, we turn to him as well. The only thing we don't need his help is with food preparation. So you can imagine, everything we do here, we rely on him for help.
Although this is the first time Liang has been assigned with such an important mission, he never once complained about the tasks assigned to him, as his heart is set on helping the Nepalese recover from the quake.
These aid supplies are the accumulation of love from Tzu Chi members all across the world, so we can't just leave these items in customs. Besides, it is already monsoon season in Nepal, so we have to quickly distribute these items to those people in need.
To get Tzu Chi's relief items in the country, volunteers have had to deal with all kinds of curveballs. However, thanks to Liang Guisheng, these aid supplies will now find their way safely into the hands of the Nepalese. Back home, Dai Sulan often accompanies her team of counterparts into rural villages to conduct medical outreach. Now that she's in Nepal, despite the language differences, there is one gesture that transcends both language and cultural differences.
When you greet them, they immediately respond with a smile. I feel that although we don't speak the same language, if you know 1 or 2 simple phrases and approach them with a smile, it really bonds people together.
Dealing with Nepalese residents on a day-to-day basis, volunteers Chen Hongyan and Huang Baoyan have found that a warm smile is the best way to bridge differences. With years of experience in conducting free clinics, the pair now works together to serve the people of Nepal.
I
want to seize every moment to contribute. Whenever the opportunity arises, I always feel that I need to take part and do whatever is within our means to help disaster victims.
If you give them a hug and a smile, for us, it's spiritually rewarding.
Through serving others, volunteers have also learned a valuable lesson.
We are too accustomed to material luxuries. When we go back home, we will live more frugally and learn to be grateful with what we already have. During Taiwan's frequent typhoons, dead and fallen trees in the forest get washed downstream, causing mudslides, destroying infrastructures, and filling beaches and reservoirs with driftwood, all at a significant cost to the government. Recently, driftwood has also been in the legal spotlight as tree thieves were found to have used loopholes in driftwood ownership laws to profit from the illegal logging of Taiwan's protected trees. Let's now take a closer look at this important issue.
After a tree lives out its life cycle of 30 to 40 years, it will naturally start to dry out and eventually topple. From the decomposition, we can tell that this tree has already been dead a long time. We are here on Miaoli's Tai'an Mountain. The area is filled with toppled or dead trees that will eventually be carried down the mountain during heavy rain. What kills Taiwan's yellow and red cypress are not insects, since they have a natural immunity, but typhoons. Every time a typhoon hits, the amount of driftwood left behind is enormous. Some of it even finds its way to Japan. The waters around the Senkaku Islands are filled with Taiwanese yellow cypress after a typhoon.
If abundant driftwood can be seen downstream, that means the forested area upstream has a preponderance of fallen trees. That is due to not only extreme weather, but also a lack of forest management.
Taiwan's forests are filled with fallen trees, all ignored. So whenever we experience an extreme weather pattern that brings heavy rain, all those trees laying around will be washed downstream.
The vicious cycle of abnormal weather patterns, drought followed by flash floods, only leads to more destruction.
With heavy rainfall, those fallen trees become slick and start to float on the accumulated water before sliding downhill or downstream, moving even faster than the falling soil around them.
Overdevelopment of mountain roads has only added to Taiwan's driftwood problem. The roads create a funnel at which rainwater accumulates as it rushes downhill, thus giving it the force to wash away trees in its path.
As the mud and trees get swept downhill, the size and power of the slide snowballs, taking more and more soil and vegetation with it.
And in areas where roads don't reach, tree thieves have used driftwood patterns and legal loopholes to profit from illegal logging.
The question is some of the driftwood we are seeing actually illegally cut trees that once washed down the mountain are then collected by tree thieves?
Are these pieces of driftwood unlawfully logged or trees that died of natural causes? After the trees make their long journey down the mountain, even experienced park officials can't tell the difference. An August 2011 amendment ruled that if a piece of driftwood lacks a federal, local or private stamp of ownership, citizens are free to collect it after a notice period, regardless of the type of tree. However, this amendment allowed tree thieves to illegally cut but legally collect valuable trees like red cypress and camphor.
目前木头都存放在的确有块木。
漂流木也可以捡啊。同一时间，内湖原对可以捡。开换了，它开换可以捡了。几乎是同一时间。
After the controversy, the government changed the law to state that citizens may not collect the driftwood of certain species of trees. The problems of Taiwan's driftwood migration while having natural causes has been exacerbated by human factors. Maybe it is time to step back and take a look at how we can best deal with the problem through a combination of wise management and conservation.
Every year around the time of the Dragon Boat Festival, Tzu Chi volunteers from Kota Tinggi, Malaysia get together to prepare vegetarian glutinous rice dumplings, which will be used to raise money for charity. This year, however, the sales proceeds will be used to fund the upcoming Water Repentant Sutra musical adaptation.
Although the Dragon Boat Festival has long passed, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia are still hard at work preparing vegetarian zongzi. But what for?
This time, the profits made from the sale of zongzi will be used for funding the sutra musical.
In fact, these zongzi are prepared solely with the intention of raising money for charity. Volunteer Lin Ya Mei invited the neighborhood to come together and give back to the community.
The Tzu Chi brothers and sisters are often very tired and yet show up for rehearsals each day. So we asked if there's anything we can do to help them, and many people show up today to help out.
In previous years, preparation of the zongzi was always arduous work. This year, however, with the help of 2 pressure cookers, volunteers managed to push out 1,310 rice dumplings in a mere few hours.
We specially made time to come help out. After we are done wrapping the zongzi, we still have rehearsals in the evening, so it has really taken a toll on us. Thank goodness Sister Ya Mei invited a lot of people to join us and complete this task together.
For the past 13 years, volunteers in Koto Tinggi have been making vegetarian zongzi to raise funds for charity. This year, however, the proceeds from the sale will be used to fund the upcoming Sutra musical, while also giving volunteers an opportunity to spread the benefits of a vegetarian diet.
In China, since 2007, Tzu Chi has long partnered with the Jiangsu provincial government to implement the Springbud Scholarship, which targets impoverished students from farming communities. As always, Tzu Chi volunteers visit the care recipients regularly to make sure they are doing fine. Here in China's Jiangsu, scholarship recipient Zhang Dongxia laid down bricks to her doors so the visiting Tzu Chi volunteers won't slip accidentally. Zhang Dongxia's mother is bedridden due to a spinal injury. For this family, Tzu Chi offers not only financial support but also emotional support.
A smile can ease 1,000 worries. Mishaps happen in life, but we need to face them with a smile.
Wang Yating's home is lined with awards that she has earned in school. Hugging her mother, Yating knows well the struggles her mother faces. Home visitations is but a part of Tzu Chi's Springbud Scholarship. This year, 660 students from 5 schools in Jiangsu received the scholarship.
They have inspired me and taught me how to be a good person and a happy person.
I want to devote myself to Tzu Chi's missions and spread the love to more people out there.
The love and care that follows this scholarship has helped plant seeds of compassion in the hearts of these recipients. In turn, these young students blossom and help spread this love forward. 10 years ago, due to a delay in seeking treatment, Ye Yingde of Xiamen, China was left bedridden. Upon learning of this family's plight, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to take the family under their wings. Furthermore, with the assistance of volunteer Liu Wutao, Ye has seen a great improvement during his rehab exercises.
This is what Ye Yingde looked like on April 2nd, 2012. 7 months later, many of the spots on his face have faded away.
Are you happy that we are here? Can you blink your eyes if you're happy? Oh, you're very happy because you just blink your eyes.
The burden of taking care of his sick husband while dealing with her own illness left Ye Zhilian in despair.
We are here to care for you, bless you. You need to bless yourself every day.
Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' continuous love and care, Ye's condition has improved significantly over the past 3 years. Although still unable to walk, Ye still happily shows the volunteers his improvement. Today, Tong'an No. 5 hospital head nurse Liu Wutao, who has been assisting Ye with his rehabilitation exercises for the past 7 months, presents the men with 2 therapy balls as encouragement. With Tzu Chi volunteers by their side, the couple has learned to put their sorrows behind them and to embrace future obstacles with a positive attitude.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand have long helped those who suffer from disabilities in the country, whether it was through financial or emotional means. This is why this year the chapter received recognition from Thailand's Association for the Mentally Ill. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching our program. Goodbye.